Hello my friends and welcome. My name is Dennis and this is the latest update on Ukraine. And in my yesterday's video, at the end of it, I told you that Ukraine probably used the artillery system to target one of the restaurants in Donetsk city. Well, now we know that inside that restaurant was Dmitry Rogozin, ex-Russian chief of the space agency Roscosmos. So he simply celebrated his birthday with his wife, friends, and also officials from the DPR, self-proclaimed republic. And late evening, he got not a good visitor for him. That Caesar artillery shell entered the room, as Russian officials say. Some of the people around the table lost their lives instantly, but Dmitry Rogozin got severe injuries in his buttocks, you may call it, or maybe ass. And yes, he was hit close to the black hole, and actually now his life in serious danger, because doctors in Rostov say that the injuries are quite severe and he's been evacuated to Moscow today for some sort of the surgeries. Probably he lost the precious part of his body. His wife was also delivered to the hospital. However, she has no any injuries, except she didn't like the shock wave of the Caesar music. Why do I say about it in this joke manner? Because I hate that guy. He's the Russian Nazi, and he used to be the real Nazi from the very beginning, and after a while somehow Putin made him the chief of the Roscosmos, and actually he was anti-Ukrainian throughout his life, and he's just piece of shit. But honestly, I would not like him to die just right now. I want to see the trial, including Rogozin, Putin's circle, and Putin himself. And about the President Zelensky, he is in Poland right now. So it was the misinformation from some of the media resources yesterday saying that Zelensky also will attend United Kingdom, France, Germany. But no, he's flying back home because it's very important for him to be in Ukraine right now, because we have the war situation. And this is the military help from United States of America that Zelensky brought with him back to Ukraine. $1.85 billion. It's enormously huge amount. The most important here, I think, not just the Patriot systems, but the artillery rounds that Ukrainian army will get. I'm speaking about the artillery shells of 152mm, 122mm, and also tank rounds for 125mm. Those are calibers for the Soviet-made tanks, and yes, we have quite a lot of the artillery systems, but not enough artillery shells. With this quantity, we are able to move forward during the winter campaign. Artillery plays a great role in this war, and still we have more Soviet-made artilleries than Western-made, and the only place where they still produce the artillery shells is the Russian Federation, not Ukraine. Yes, we have some sort of the production of those, but it's kind of tiny. And maybe United States start to produce the artillery shells for the Soviet-made systems, or maybe it was the negotiation with the ex-Soviet countries to give Ukraine more artillery rounds. Maybe it's like that. And as we know nowadays that Russia is struggling with their artillery. First of all, they're running out of their resource for their barrels of artillery. They use them very frequently and they need to be replaced. And they still don't have enough infrastructure to do it very fast. And the second thing, that Ukraine was able to destroy many of the Russian ammunition depots on the front lines and behind the front lines with the HIMARS rocket artillery systems. That is why they also struggle with artillery shells, and they start to produce them right now. We can clearly see that the Russian army start to use the artillery shells produced in 2022. It means that they already used their resources. The second biggest achievement for Ukraine in means of the military help from United States, that we have the funding for training, maintenance, and sustainment. So the training is very important for our soldiers, our officers. As we know, they went for the training to fly F-16s, they went for the training to United Kingdom with different instructors, also from Canada, Norway. Imagine the army with the military experience and the best training in the world this army will not lose for sure. And totally next year, United States of America agreed to give Ukraine the military help for $45 billion. It's the great number. It is comparable with the Russian military budget, where they put around $60 billion in 2023, but also we have military help not just from United States but from other countries. So I would say the military budget for Ukraine and Russia would be equal for the next year. On the way back, President Vladimir Zelensky met with Andrzej Duda, the Polish president, and they have lots of things to discuss. Poland and Polish people helped to Ukraine a lot. Thank you guys for it. According to the Reuters article, Russians Wagner Group bought the weaponry from the North Korea for the war in Ukraine. I think that happened because of the recent sanctions that United States put on Russia. They basically cut all of the equipment that could be used for the military in Russian Federation. Today, the quantity of the Russian soldiers who found their peace in the Ukrainian soil surpass 100,000 soldiers. It's enormous number, and yes, it's according to Ukrainian statistics, but still it's not far away from reality. And Ukrainian statistics includes just losses in the Russian army. So Wagner is not here. Volunteers from the self-proclaimed DPR and LPR republics are also not there. In the context of the Ukrainian military training in United Kingdom and United States, let's speak about the Russian army. According to the information that was published by the British intelligence, Belarus will provide the facilities, infrastructure and instructors to train the regular Russian army, mainly mobilized soldiers. And yes, you understood it correctly. The army that never fought will teach the second army of the world to fight. A couple of the words about the Russian allies. China's largest shipping company, China COSCO, refused to transport Russian oil. Yes, and Greece is not the Russian ally, but nevertheless, Greek Alvin International, one of the biggest shipping companies, also refused to transport Russian oil. And that happened after G7 countries applied the price limit for the Russian oil. And as I say to you, Russia already lost half of their oil market. And today we also got awesome news that the trading price for the gas in Europe dropped below 1,000 euros. It's the great achievement. Nevertheless, Russia lost its pipelines, Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2, and also they had some sort of the sabotage on their gas pipes, but still price continued to drop, and Qatar plays a great role here, Turkey, Central Asian countries as well. Plus, United States will transport more gas to its clients in Europe. This is the biggest ship of Russia and the only air carrier that they have. Actually, it was produced in Mykolaiv. Now it carries the name of Admiral Kuznetsov. Well, today it caught fire, as you can see on a picture. Actually, it's been on a maintenance for long 6 years, and it's not the first time that it catches the fire. A few years ago, it got severe fire and was almost destroyed by it. This picture shows the renovation process of the air carrier, and here you can spot some of the strange buildings. Maybe we have our sabotage team very close to that air carrier. Actually, I don't think that we should fight with Russia. We just need to export more cigarettes to their army, and they will do the job for us. About the military map, let's go to Bakhmut, my friends. There were some of the changes recently, but not big one, let's say. So few days ago, Russians still in this area. They took a couple of the quarters, but the fighting continues and they lose positions. Here they continue to keep them, and according to some of the information coming from the front lines, the Ukrainian army was able to push Russians away from the Bakhmut city. So I think we should wait for the newest update of the deep state map showing that Russians withdraw from the residential areas, and that information came from the Russian resources as well. So we may hope that it's correct. Other than that, there were no big changes on the front lines, and for Ukrainian counterattack on Melitopol, my friends, I think we should wait for the new delivery from United States artillery shells and many more, and then in January Ukraine may start the counterattack on that region. I hope it will be like that. I'm gonna keep you updated on situation in Ukraine. Don't forget to press the like to this video to support the channel. If you want to support me financially, there are always some of the links in the video description below. You may support me on Patreon, PayPal, or Donatello, whichever is more convenient for you. And thank you so much for your kind support, my friends. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.